Wow, incredible. It's really out there. Megan stared at me like that, and I opened my mouth, my face turning red with shame. I'm sorry to ask, but could you clean it up? Of course, Megan responded, reaching out to the object in front of me. My name is Ken Johnson. At 25, I'm a labor and social security attorney. Currently, I'm working in a law firm. But truthfully, I've been considering a move to a different firm. The persistent attention from Agnes, the daughter of the head of the firm, has been causing me quite a bit of distress. Hey, Ken, want to go to a movie together this weekend? Agnes, I'm sorry, I have plans. Oh, really? You said the same thing last time, you know. Agnes is a well-educated young lady and a flamboyant beauty. If you married her, you'd be set for life. My colleagues often tell me, but no matter how hard I try, I can't seem to fall for her. However, I can't exactly brush her off either. I'm really in a pickle. But before I even consider a career move, I need to clean up my apartment. Moving would be a hassle. I have always been bad at housework, and my whole room had become a garbage dump. I used to justify it by saying no one else was coming over anyway, but that excuse isn't going to fly anymore. My mother, who still lives in my hometown, called to say she was coming to visit. Ken, I'm coming to visit. It's been a while. Hearing these words over the phone sent me into a full-blown panic, trying to avoid the impending disaster. No. If we're going to meet, I'll come over to your place. Oh, don't start with that. I bet your apartment is still a mess, isn't it? If that's the case, I'll just have to clean it for you. My mom knows me too well. She raised me as a single mother, working tirelessly to give me everything she could. Now, she's remarried and leading a comfortable life, but the years leading up to my adulthood were filled with hardships. I have the utmost respect and admiration for her. Once, when she made an unexpected visit, I had forgotten to hide a photo album of a swimsuit model, and I was embarrassed beyond belief. I cannot afford to repeat such an embarrassment. With this thought in mind, I made up my mind to apply for the dispatch of a housekeeper service. Depending on the price, they could spend nearly an entire day cleaning the entire house. I would prefer a thorough clean immediately, but for now, I decided to try out their 1-hour trial. The following weekend, a housemaid was dispatched to my apartment. When I answered the door at the sound of the intercom, standing before me was a surprisingly young and stunningly beautiful housemaid, dressed in a neat frilly apron. Her long black hair and sharp double eyelids were accentuated by the frills of her apron. Wow, she's really beautiful. I was so taken aback that I froze for a moment. Then, the housemaid began to introduce herself with a graceful voice. My name is Megan Smith. Nice to meet you. Upon hearing her name, the beautiful woman in front of me instantly linked with a schoolgirl dressed in uniform I had met in the past. Yes, Megan and I had indeed met before. It was 3 years ago. I was a senior in college then. My university held a visiting day, and I was one of the presenters on stage. Being from a financially disadvantaged family, I had attended the university as a special scholarship student, with all my tuition fees waived. There was only one such scholarship available per year, making it highly competitive. When I spoke about this special scholarship slot on stage, Megan came to me during Q&A session. I learned a lot from your talk today. With these words, Megan flashed a charming smile from behind her glasses. Although she wore no makeup, she looked incredibly lovely in her school uniform. If that's the case, then my efforts paid off. Are you also aiming for the special scholarship? Yes. My family is a single-parent household, so we're financially struggling. Listening to her, I realized that our family circumstances were quite similar. Impressed by her crisp manner of speaking and earnest personality, I truly wanted to support her. I see. We also have trial classes at our university. It could be helpful in getting the scholarship if you can make an impression on the professors there. Good luck. Thank you very much. From then on, Megan continued to participate eagerly in the trial classes. Her dedication was genuinely sincere, and although from a distance, I kept watching over her. In hindsight, I might have been harboring a tender affection for the young Megan. So when I heard from the professors at the time of my graduation that Megan was selected as a scholarship student, I was overjoyed. I thought I would never see her again as my job was located out of state, but I never thought I would see her again in this way. She was supposed to be a junior in college. Why was she working for a housekeeping service? Was she working part-time on days she didn't have classes? I was tempted to ask for details, but Megan didn't seem to acknowledge my presence and wouldn't meet my eyes. Where should I clean? Being asked professionally, I decided to have her clean the entrance in the hallway. Megan began cleaning swiftly and skillfully. Despite her slender legs stretching out from her skirt, her bosom was surprisingly ample, catching my eye. As I was enamored by her good looks, an hour passed in the blink of an eye. The entrance and the hallway were sparkling clean, as if transformed. It was a job only a pro could do. When her work was done, Megan made quick work-related remarks and left hurriedly. Still, I wanted to have a proper conversation with Megan. I requested the housekeeping service company to have Megan come again next week. This time it would be for a full day. I was prepared for her to refuse, but I was told that Megan had agreed. It seemed she hadn't entirely disliked me. With my heart pounding in anticipation of the next weekend, a visibly upset Megan, her cheeks puffy and flushed, came to my house. "Megan, what on earth happened?" Megan opened her mouth slowly, her gaze fixed on the ground. Do you remember me, sir?" "Of course I do. I've been worried about how you're doing ever since I graduated from college." "Sir," Megan looked up at me, her eyes filling with tears. I thought it best to get her calm and talk, so I ushered her into the living room. After making some tea, Megan thanked me and began to recount in detail what had happened. "Actually, my mom hit me yesterday." "What? Your mom did?" "Yes, my mom, she's what you would call toxic. She objected to me going to college, and so I couldn't continue my studies." "You're kidding. After all the hard work you put in to earn a full scholarship, I studied like crazy because my mom said she would let me study if the tuition was covered. But it seems like she just can't stand to see me happy. Since I gave up going to college, I've been working part-time jobs and offering housekeeping services to make ends meet." "I see. Are you still living with your mom?" "Actually, whenever my mom is in a bad mood or brings a man home, she forces me out of the apartment. So, I essentially spend more than half of the year living in comic book cafes." Megan said that, letting out a deep sigh. I was at a loss for words, taken aback by the severity of Megan's living conditions. Even if she worked her fingers to the bone, saving money would be tough when staying in comic book cafes. So I proposed something to Megan. "You don't have to agree if it's a burden, but Megan, would you like to live here?" "What? I'll provide a room, and you don't have to pay rent. It's a small apartment, but I think it's more comfortable than a comic book cafe." "But wouldn't that be a bother for you? If it's too much, how about you do some housework in exchange? Of course, you don't have to push yourself if you're busy with work." It was a proposal that slipped out in the spur of the moment, and I regretted it a bit, thinking it might be too bold. After all, getting a proposal to live together from a man you haven't seen for 3 years might be a bit off-putting. But Megan, with a smile on her face, was happy about the proposal. "Thank you so much." No, I'm the one who should be thanking you. I'll start cleaning up right away." With that, Megan headed to the kitchen with a spring in her step. The kitchen was a mess, and in particular, the kitchen hood was so black with dirt it was unbearable to look at. "Wow, that's a lot coming out." When I removed the cover of the vent hood, a thick glob of oil dripped down. Seeing Megan stare at that with wide eyes, I opened my mouth, my face flushing with embarrassment. "Could you clean it up for me, please?" "Of course." And with that, Megan reached out. Thanks to Megan, my once dirty house became stunningly clean in just one day. I had plans to treat Megan to a meal outside as a way to say thank you, but in the middle of that, suddenly the doorbell rings. With a bad feeling in my gut, I opened the door, and sure enough, there was my mom. "Hey, Ken, I was just in the neighborhood so I thought I'd drop by." Mom, you should have told me you were coming." My mom's eyes went wide when she saw Megan coming out from the back. "Oh my, what a beauty, Ken. You don't deserve her. Where did you meet such a wonderful woman, Ken?" "She's a junior from my university who came as a maid service dispatch." "Huh, what are you saying?" My mom stood there, mouth agape, looking at me blankly. Anyway, after letting my mom into the house, Megan explained the situation. Once my mom understood the situation, she laughed merrily. "Aha, I see. That makes sense. I mean, there's no way a stunning girl like her would date Ken, right? Mom, that's enough. By the way, I bought some beef for dinner tonight. Would you like to join us, Megan?" "Yes, absolutely. Actually, please let me cook it." "Really? Well, I might take your word for it then." Using the ingredients my mom brought, Megan served us a delicious stew just under an hour later. "This is amazing. It's like something you'd get in a restaurant." It's true. It's incredibly good. I, who usually just ate ready-to-eat supermarket food, was deeply moved by the homemade meal. To top it all off, Megan even made pancakes using ingredients from my kitchen. "Whoa, this is delicious. I'll pay you. Can you make it again sometime? I want my husband to taste this too." No, I'm not a professional. I can't accept your money." No, it's so delicious. You're practically a professional." "Right. I'd love to try some other pastries too." And so, after eating her delicious food, my mom left our house in a great mood. Our family home is a 2-hour drive away, so I'm sure she'll visit us often from now on, mostly to taste Megan's cooking. Sorry, moms like that. She may drop in unexpectedly. It's a relief having you around, Megan, or else I get scolded for the state of the house. Haha, your mom is very lively. It's been a long time since I had so much fun. Watching you and your mom was also amusing. Megan's words made my face turn red. Shoot, I wanted to act cool in front of Megan, but mom always throws me off my game. And so, our shared living experience began. Despite working multiple jobs, Megan managed all the household chores perfectly. She served different delicious meals every day, and even packed homemade lunches for me. My coworkers were envious of the high-quality lunches, saying, "You've got a good one." Although she's not my girlfriend, I feel fortunate just having such a wonderful woman by my side. My mom has been coming over frequently since then, eating Megan's home-cooked meals with a delighted face. Today, she bought a chocolate cake that Megan made and took it home. Mom, you're buying at quite the pace. Megan, don't push yourself too hard, okay? It's fine. I enjoy baking. Besides, I think your mom is trying to support me. Huh. I think she's giving me money under the pretense of buying sweets because she knows about my circumstances. I should be the one saying thank you. Am I really allowed to be this happy? Said Megan, as tears streamed down her cheeks. Hearing her words, I too felt a warmth welling up in my chest. My mom just wants to be of any help to Megan, even if it's just a little. I gently patted Megan's crying back. It's okay. You've had a tough time until now, Megan. You've saved me as well, and my mom adores you. I'm so happy, Ken. Megan trusts me, but our relationship is based on business. I have no intention to press for a relationship because of that. Megan is still young and beautiful, full of infinite potential. There's no way a woman of her caliber should always stay with me. She should find a better life and a partner far better than me. Even though I think this, the thought of an end to this happiness makes my chest hurt. The following week, the doorbell rang again. Expecting my mom, I opened the door, only to find Agnes standing there. Caught off guard by her sudden visit, Agnes had a look of discontent on her face. Ken, You're letting a maid service woman live here. You dared to let such a woman into your house, leaving me out. Hey, Agnes, please calm down. Ignoring my pleas, Agnes barged into the house. Then she began hurling insults at Megan. How dare you? There are limits to being impudent, barging into someone's house just because you're a maid. Get out of here now. Eek. With that, Agnes tried to pull on Megan's apron. My body moved instinctively at the sight, and I stood in front of Agnes. Behind me, Megan was trembling with fear. Ken, what are you? Even if it's Agnes, I won't allow it. She didn't barge into the house. I'm the one who's been giving her money to have her here. That's how much I like her. Even I was surprised by the intensity of my feelings. It was as if something I'd been holding back was suddenly released. I know it's lame, but even so, I want her here. It's my choice, so there's no reason for you, Agnes, to say anything about it. What? I don't know who you are anymore, Ken. With that, Agnes stormed out, angry. I might not be able to stay at that office anymore, but I don't care. I won't forgive anyone who hurts Megan. When I rushed over to Megan, she looked at me intently. She must have been troubled by what was said. Megan, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I'd be happy if you could stay here without worrying about it. No, I'm happy, because I like you, Ken. There's no need for you to be considerate. I was surprised and looked at Megan's face. I've liked you since the first time we met. I thought you were just sympathizing with me because of my circumstances, so I'm really happy. Unbelievably, we were mutually in love. Overwhelmed by this unexpected turn of events, I hugged Megan tightly, enveloped in a sense of happiness. I'm happy to. From now on, I want to be with you, Megan. Always. It was the moment I decided to protect her for the rest of my life. Following the incident with Agnes, I couldn't stay in my old office any longer, so I transferred to a local office near my parents' house, thanks to some connections from a hometown friend. Thanks to Megan keeping the house neat and tidy, the move went smoothly. This situation allowed me to keep a distance from both Agnes and Megan's mother, a real sigh of relief. What I'm most grateful for is the mutual love between my mother and Megan. My mother always treats Megan like a daughter, and for Megan, my mother is the ideal mother figure, giving her the love she never received before. She looks happy every day. Megan is currently studying to become a social worker while helping out at the office. With her keen attention to detail and exceptional work, Megan is highly regarded in the office. I'm sure she will pass her exam. A year into our relationship, Megan and I got married. Because of the situation with Megan's mother, we chose not to have a public wedding ceremony. Instead, we had a small party at our house with family. The table was lined with home-cooked meals from Megan and my mother, and a diamond ring sparkled on Megan's finger. I'm so glad that Megan agreed to marry our Ken. I now have a beautiful daughter, and I'm truly happy. I could die happy now. Mother-in-law, please don't say things like that. I've just gotten used to calling you Mom. Megan, dear. Because we moved close to my mom's house, my mother pops in more frequently than before. But with Megan around, we're always ready for her visits. I can trust Megan with the house and my mom, so it's a relief. As I savor this happiness, I'm determined to work harder to bring more joy to my family. I hope you enjoyed the story. Your channel subscription would be a great source of motivation for us. See you in the next video.